Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about defending and countering in Football Manager. And let's get started with an overview. The nature of a defensive tactic means you are willingly inviting pressure and giving up shots. And like everything in Football Manager, if you've got a plan, you can make it work. It's just that defending and countering may take a little longer. So let's get started with our plan. I want to sit back and defend. My formation will be the starting point. And then I want to hit teams on the counter. This will be done with team instructions and player roles. Finally, I want to try and be clinical in front of goal. Less shots, but higher quality ones. When making a tactic based around defending and countering, ironically enough, the biggest issue is that you don't have enough players attacking. What happens is when you're sitting back defending, and you don't have enough players attacking space, your team will get pinned in your own half, and you will eventually give up a goal. It's a good idea to have a few player roles whose job is to put pressure on the opponent after you win the ball back. The formation we choose will make us defensive. The player roles will be the ones attacking, and the team instructions will help us do both. Here's an example of how we can both defend and attack. Right now the opponent has the ball basically in our penalty area. We're the team in red and we'll clear it long. Now, this is both what we want and the danger of sitting back defending. With the opponent picking the ball up in the midfield, all of my players are still back. When they start passing the ball around, this type of pressure would be unsustainable for a 90-minute match. So we need to wait for a mistake and then attack. Finally, they make a frustrated pass and we get a turnover. But we're still in our own box. We need to get the ball forward as quick as we can. One of the best ways to do this is by choosing player roles that like to dribble or get further forward. These traits and player roles are effective ways to take advantage of your opponent's unsettled shape. In the next section, let's check out our team and tactic. We are in South Korea today, looking at FC Seoul. Our tactic is a 4-1-4-1. This formation is great for defending because we have 9 outfield players at the halfway line or below. With the defensive mentality, it says we're looking to frustrate the opponent and try to score quick on the counter. More direct passing, pass into space, and the higher tempo, in addition to the counter instruction, all work with what we're trying to achieve. However, just because we're using a bunch of defensive instructions doesn't mean we can't attack. Both wing players, a wide playmaker and a winger, are more offensive-minded player roles. They also both have dribble more as a hard-coded instruction. And the central midfielder on attack, wingback on support, and the fullback on attack all have get further forward. So while we're in a defensive shape with some defensive instructions, 5 of our players have some type of attack-focused, hard-coded instruction. And this doesn't even include our pressing forward, which, despite the defend duty, is still a striker. The first example we'll look at would be how you can still get some good passing and movement even if you're focused on defending. We're on the ball in our own defensive midfield area. I want to point out the wide playmaker and why his movement centrally is very difficult for defenders to track. Then, the central midfielder with his positioning in the midfield is a good link to help connect it to the winger on the other side. However, let's rewind to just before the goal. We've got a gap here in the midfield, which I'm fine with in our attacking phase, and it's not a big deal since we scored the goal. But this could cause some issues if we lost the ball. So, let's jump to another play where we do lose the ball. Here's our winger on the ball attacking down the right flank, and he's about to hit in a floating cross. As the cross comes in and it turns into a 50-50 ball, the halfback will push up and cover that midfield gap. That's what the role excels at, playing back in possession, and then pushing up when your team loses the ball. Our last highlight will be a longer sequence showcasing both our defending and counter ability. We'll start it with my halfback on the ball right outside our goal. The play begins and we get it into the midfield, but a poor pass gives away the ball. Again, watch the halfback and how he restricts that midfield space. We have the regroup team instruction, so while the halfback is doing that, the rest of the team is getting back into the defensive shape. We're still a bit unsettled, but when the ball comes into the box, look at how many bodies are in the way. While we get a bit lucky that it's blocked, that's the point of playing defensively. Keep bodies back and block shots. We clear it, and this is why I've been loving the pressing forward on defend. He gives us that extra midfielder when defending with the low block team instruction. I'll let the rest of the clip play out so you can see how we counter. We're going to check out some stats and some results, but like usual, I don't like showing these to brag about the tactic or give myself a pat on the back. I just want to show that all tactics are feasible and effective in Football Manager, even though this one may take a little while longer compared to some other ones. Currently, we are second in the league, even though we had a media prediction of 10th. And this would be a typical result for us. If you watch my video on XG, you know that we were actually the more clinical team. We took less shots, but had higher quality ones. And unsurprisingly, we got dominated in possession. And this plays out in the stats. We've only given up 5 goals in 8 matches. We have the highest conversion rate with 17 goals on only 59 shots. And we're nearly bottom in terms of possession. As we wrap up, I want to reiterate that making a tactic based on countering and defending is very difficult in Football Manager, but it's also one of the most rewarding tactics that you can make. If you're curious about any player roles that we talked about in today's video, I've got different playlists that you can check out. I've also got a Patreon account if you'd like to support the channel. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.